So this is Ricky running the skid steer, 12 years old. It's Memorial Day weekend 2021. I am holding the camera directly in front of my face at eye level, walking through the rye. You can see how tall the rye is compared to the wheat field that I was just in that came up about my waist to maybe my lower chest at the highest. So this rye is, some of these taller spikes are taller than me. This is corn planted into wheat stubble. I wanted to show this. So this is the open ground. Here it's dry because of the sunlight today. Dig underneath sweet straw and it's damp. That's why we like having this no-till. Holds that moisture down, keeps the sun from evaporating it all away. Keeps it there for the corn plant when it needs it. And believe me, it needs it right now. We're 10 inches behind normal for this time of year. So you notice, well, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but you can see it right here, how much taller the right plant is to the left. That's because on the left, this is wheat straw. It requires nitrogen to break down because it's high in carbon, so it's pulling nitrogen out of the soil that the corn should be using. On this side, we have soybean stubble, which is high in nitrogen. So it doesn't need to pull nitrogen out of the soil. It's probably already releasing some back into the soil, so the corn is better. Yeah, so this is what hay looks like after it's had 5 inches of rain on it over the course of a week. It's pretty much junk. But I'm gonna bale it anyway. Maybe somebody will buy it for mulch, bedding, I don't know. That's what I'm doing today anyway, July 3rd. Baling junk. It didn't go?
No. Exhilarating.
Exhilarating? Overwhelming?
Yeah.
Mommy doesn't like this job.
This shop?
This job.
Oh.
Too big of a tractor and too fast-paced.
Gotcha.
What are we doing this morning, Ricky?
Cutting hay.
Did you know this is what you're going to be doing when I woke you up at 6 o'clock this morning?
No.
Make sure you keep a big arch so you come in straight.
See that?
Yep. This ain't bull riding, man. young guy. Doing some good work. Okay, so it's round 2 for the hay season. Just finally getting finished up with first cutting. Hopefully I'll bale the last of the first cutting grass tomorrow, and that'll wrap it up. I'm out cutting the second cutting alfalfa here this evening. Unfortunately, the first cutting was so drug out from the beginning of it to the end that the second cutting is really overgrown and fallen down. You can see back behind me in the haybine, it looks like it's really short coming in under the haybine, but it's actually really tall. It's just alfalfa can't hold itself up, so when it gets tall, it falls over. In this direction, the haybine's doing a pretty good job of picking it up, but going the other direction, I'll show you it's not doing such a good job. So you can see there in between the windrows, not too bad. It's a little raggy, but it's getting the majority of it picked back up and cut off. When we get around the end here, I'll show you what it looks like when I was cutting the other direction. It's a totally different story. You can see there, the hay doesn't look like it's any taller than the windrow that I cut. But if I were to go out there and hold it up, it'd probably be nearly waist high on me, at least some of it. So let me get stopped here and I can show you a little easier. You can see that. See how much more raggy that looks? It's because the hay is laying in a direction away from the cutter bar, or not a cutter bar, but the knives on the header, on the haybine, and so it just can't pick them up. You see, it's underneath that shield is 6 spinning tables, plates, I guess. Plates might be the best way to describe them, with 2 knife sections each that stick out and spin really fast. So if this stuff is laying the wrong direction, laying away from it, the only way that I could combat that would be to drive to one end of the field and cut the other way, and then drive to one end of the field and then cut back again. I'm not going to do that. That'd take an enormous amount of time. And actually, the stems aren't what most people want in their hay anyway, it's the leaves. So we're just going to leave them there, and they'll start to regrow and make the third cutting. It'll just start out a little bit taller. Yeah, you see there, it's really bad. Now for the most part, a field will always lay in the same direction. Just because the way the wind's pushing on it, or the way it's growing towards the sun, or whatever. So I'm out checking the rye today to see if I want to harvest, which I think we're there. I think it's ready. But you can see, so when this was growing, it was over my head considerably. Now that it's dry and breaking over, it's between chest and waist high. It's going to be a lot of product to feed through the combine. It's going to be slow cutting, that's for sure. Such a broken down mat, it's almost impossible to walk through. Luckily I found this little bit of a deer path here, making life a lot easier. We got a spot up here that's really down. That's really going to be difficult, but it's not flat on the ground. I mean, it's up 6-8 inches, so hopefully I can get it all picked up okay. These are my oats. Trying to determine whether they're going to cut today along with the rye. A little harder to decide because there's a lot of green stems in here yet. But at the same time, there's also a lot that's so dry it's breaking over. I think about the only thing I can do is probably cut a little bit and see what the moisture comes in at. You can see that all the green out here, that's mare's tail coming through. Certainly don't want to wait too much longer to cut, because The longer I wait, the thicker that mare's tail is going to get. That's going to make it really hard to cut and make for a really trashy sample coming into the combine. So we're cutting rye today. It's all broken over, but really it's not down too bad. You can see some of that's down some, but even so, I'm still able to cut with about 6 inches of stubble. So that's not horrible. Got a co-pilot with me today.
Hello.
Running the new combine. I didn't shoot any video through wheat. I don't know, I guess I was just too excited to run the combine. Didn't get anything on film. But all in all, the machine's doing really good for us. A couple little tiny quirks, nothing major at all so far. So the rye, our yield monitor is not calibrated for rye, but I would guess it's running about 65 or 70 bushel of the acre, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I don't really have a basis because I only grew it once before, and that was on totally different ground years and years ago. So now we're on to the oats. A little easier going here. I'm driving about twice as fast as what I was in the rye. The only issue is these areas where it's green. It's kind of like a volunteer alfalfa coming up in here, and I'm not sure exactly where the seed came from. Other than this area right along the back headland that's so green, they're running really well, I think. I think there's more acres here than I thought there was, though. I was thinking this is a 5-acre piece, and I think it's going to end up being like 7 or 8. So we'll see what we get out of it. Steer back the other way some, or you're going to leave a flag. Turn back that way. Quicker. There you go. Okay, just keep it there. Now steer back. You got it correct once you get to the point you're headed for. Now steer back straight, or you're going to go back in.
This is hard. And
Yeah.
it's a flag.
You're getting too big of turns. You got to make smaller turns, and when you get close, you start to bring it back slowly. There. Now, just like that, drive it. Now you see you're starting to drift, so start turning back, okay? Izzy, you're getting way too far out. Look at the edge of the crop. You gotta turn this way.
No.
Not ready yet?
No.
Okay. Lots of oats.
Yeah, there is.
So, this is what it looks like when someone's portable deer blind doesn't get cleaned up and blows into a hayfield and gets grown over and then gets wrapped up in the haybine. Just about stopped my haybine dead. So I'm out pulling some weeds in one of my soybean fields this morning, and I came across this big guy. How's it going? Catching anything this morning? Huh? It's just a garden spider. They're harmless, even though they look like they could eat your head off. That's a pretty big one even for a garden spider. Eat all those bad things. Get rid of anything that's gonna hurt my soybeans. And this mosquito that's buzzing around my head.